Let us talk about Active Directory. Is Active Directory kind of inherently vulnerable?
Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely. We've had it for 20 years. And so it's had time to evolve and had time to develop. The challenges are it's also expanded, I think, beyond the horizons we've ever thought about.
Inherently by design, it has to be open to your network, right? So for the request to come in to say, this is who I say I am, and have that authentication process, you can't close it off or seal it down to say, well, nobody can get to it because otherwise it defeats the entire purpose. People don't want to change it for your person because they're afraid they're going to break something, especially all those legacy connections and services that run on it that they're afraid they'll bring the business down or part of it.
It's a Jenga block. I mean, literally, it's a Jenga game. It's like we started off with this really cool thing, and we've been doing this shit to it. And every now and again, if somebody looks and goes, "We should fix that," it's definitely expanded and it's definitely gotten better. I mean, we have to give Microsoft some credit.
One thing I've always thought Microsoft did really well is they bring out sort of a capability and they make it sort of easy to use. They're generally not perfect or even close to that when they first start, but over time it gets better and better. I don't think it's going away anytime soon. Wholly moving away from it is a big task, especially depending on the size of the organization and the maturity of it.
From a user standpoint, desktop, laptop, computers, printers, all the periphery that we have on there, Azure Active Directory is extremely good at the cloud type of applications. And arguably, there's a lot of complementary areas between the two of them. So it's not a one or another.
There is the idea of saying, well, I've got one domain controller and everything is there. It's a single DC that's in a forest and it's its own thing. But most organizations are going to have, you have the ability to separate out different resources. In some cases, you can distribute the risk, meaning that an attacker would actually have to not just get into one place, but then they would have to get into multiple different places and hit a series of things that just reduces the likelihood of them being successful or not being detected in the process of it to do it.
Who should manage Active Directory? Should it be the IT department, security, or identity access management? Who should be handling it?
What I see and what I like is actually being part of security and identity and access management, at least in my world, is in the umbrella of cybersecurity.
At the end of the day, you have an architecture that you have to somehow or other do a better job of securing. Do you put multi-factor in place? Do you put one-time use passwords in place? As an attacker, I'm always going to get in. I think this is the biggest thing we tend to forget. Nothing's perfect. Right. So as an adversary, I'm always going to get in.
I like the idea of vaulting, of creating separate identities, right? But I have to actually check out a vaulted privileged account to go do domain activities, domain admin activities with a automatic rotated password.
We've had Active Directory for the last 20 years. It's evolved, it's grown, it's the beast that we don't want to talk about. It's the elephant in the room. We understand bits of it, but nobody understands it fully.
There's usually two things there's two things that people go after, right? It's either they're trying to get access to then impersonate someone, compromise those creds, or exploit vulnerabilities in actual hardware or systems themselves, and skipping the entire authentication process, by it is. So Active Directory is one of those two major bridges, given how prevalent it is and how much it's used.
We are going to our best bad ideas, so we're going with this one first. Migrate away from Active Directory. Already it's sounding good, but to how new cloud-based IAM without assessing your business's use of Active Directory.
When you think about cloud migration, you have two options. You either pick everything up you have on premise, drop it in the cloud and go, woohoo, we're done, we're in the cloud. Or you say, screw it, we are going to build it from the ground up. And you start with an entirely new greenfield and you build your new environment that way.
This one I know came in from Dutch, and I love this idea. Get rid of learning tables completely. All email is like a party phone line circa 1988, and every message goes to every single person and asks, are you David Spark? Are you David Spark? Are you David Spark? Eventually it'll hit me.
Well, first, it's a great idea because it feels and sounds a lot like token ring technology. It's a bit like circa Lord of the Flies, right? You don't speak unless you have the conch.
It's not just token ring, but we're doing it in modern days. We're doing it with vehicles. So you think about all the vehicle automation, PID IDs. Most PID IDs, it's a ring-based circular thing. So all we're doing is we're building off the wonderful world of vehicle automation.
Either get the newest high school intern to run Active Directory for the entire enterprise with no training, or make your cousin's friend's mother your domain admin.
If you look at a lot of small to medium businesses, that's exactly how it works. It's like, oh, you actually understand what Active Directory means. You Googled it effectively, therefore you can actually be in charge of Active Directory. So
Active Directory, because of its history, it's riddled with a lot of baggage. And so, frankly, a high schooler or even your cousin's mom or grandmother, whatever it was,
Yes.
could
It was
come
in
in
the-
with they would come in with a clean slate and not have all that baggage of history of no, we have to do it this way because of this.
This question comes in from Joseph. If your Active Directory is compromised, do you recommend a full restore or full rebuild?
If you do have a product that can get you back where you were at a given time, then I would say go back to that place.
the forensics is a huge part of that, because you can then roll it back and go get this, because rebuilding, not fun, especially in like multi-forest and all that other crap.
All right. I'm going to go back to the best bad ideas. Backup Active Directory. Just take a backup of the entire server. And then when things go wrong, restore the schema manually.
When you have to look through something with a fresh set of eyes, you get to see the mistakes you made last time around. So think about this. This is a continual learning and a continual education cycle. If I walk up to you as a member of the organization and say, hey, we're actually doing an assessment of passwords for the computer security department. We actually require uppercase, lowercase, and subset. I've actually got my configurations here that I require them to be. Could you please tell me those so I can validate them against these preset requirements? And people give it to me, and I'm like, yes, that fits that one, that fits that one. Absolutely. Please carry on using it.
So
The core to social engineering is make the person feel better having met you. Like, so when you, like
Yes.
the description you just described, if you say, you checked off everything, thank you very much, you are fully compliant, I appreciate that, thank you. So
Walk away feeling
I did
good
a
about
good
it.
job.
if anybody can walk away with anything, which is go do the basics, focus on the basics and not the edge case stuff that normally makes splashy headlines of look how bad everything can be. Because most breaches and most published studies on things that happen, it's actually the basics that allowed somebody to get in.
Bye, everyone.